Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Hidden Features of EVE Online. I'm Interdimensional, and today we're going to be diving into some little-known strategies that will blow your mind. Whether you're a seasoned veteran or new to the game, these hidden features will take your EVE Online experience to the next level. You won't want to miss this. Let's jump right in. Do you suffer from an uncontrollable rage whenever something tries to notify you of new information by blinking lights at you? Well, suffer no longer with this one simple trick. In the Neocom menu in your game, you can go up to the very top left, and lo and behold, much like a lot of these tips, all you gotta do, right click it, and we have a number of options here. So from here, you can align it right, which is weird, but definitely possible. Let's go ahead and realign that left. But the tip here actually is that you can disable all button blinking right from here, and that will make sure that all of those little stupid annoying notification lights on your Neocom menu just aren't going to be doing that anymore, which I find a little bit refreshing, and maybe you do too. So there you go. Nice and wonderful. Number 2. So here we have another pretty short and simple tip, but if you're customizing things, this might come in handy for you, and it is that you actually have a good deal of control over your HUD overview and some messages locations. So if we go ahead, there's this really tiny hamburger menu down here. If you click this, you have a few options here. So you can go ahead and read all these. You can make things display passive modules, display empty slots. You can make things more compact or more expanded, however you want. But you can also do a few things like HUD align to top, and that will actually put your HUD all the way up top here, if you want that. And you can also, if you hold down left click on your capacitor, you can drag your HUD left and right, and you can kind of put it where you want, and it will also snap to the middle of your screen if you get it kind of just right. There we go. I like mine on the bottom though, so let's go ahead and put that back on the bottom. And then there's also enter moving mode for messages and configure ship health alert settings. So this is when are you going to hear all of your alarms. If you're flying a particular kind of ship, this can be very handy. Maybe you're in like an armor paladin and you don't want to always hear your shield alarm going off. So you can selectively turn these on and off, change their positions. But do be careful, because if you forget to turn it back on, it could be really bad, right? Hopefully that helps. If you want to customize things a little bit more on your HUD, it can be super handy. And yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next thing. Number 3. Have you ever been aggravated when perhaps you're in a chat channel and someone has linked a few different fit options and you want to compare them, see which one maybe you want the most, but you can't really because when you click on one, it overwrites what you already had open up? Well, no more. I'm here to teach you a little trick of the trade. So here, we have a few different ESS fits, right? If we click one, we get it shown. We click another, it overwrites it. Boo! But if you hold down Shift, you can actually open as many of these windows as you frickin' want. It's wonderful. Look at all this comparison that we can do. Oh my goodness. What a treat. And even better is that our main window right here, is that if we don't shift click, if we just regularly click, it's only going to update that window and keep all of our other fitting windows just the same as they were. This really makes things a lot simpler and fun when you're dealing with a lot of fits like we are doing right here. But yeah, hopefully that helps. It was mind-blowing when I figured this out, thanks to Chaos's chat. So, editor's note, I just realized something crazy about what we just talked about. You can also shift-click links and show info and make multiple show info things. So if we just quickly go into game here, we right-click a ship, we show info, we right-click another ship, hold shift now, click show info again, we have 2 show infos. Wow. Wow.
Wow.
All right, yeah, moving on. Number 4. Have you ever been wandering around in space? Perhaps searching for a station or a player-owned structure that you wanted to get to as soon as possible, but you just can't find it on your overview because you don't have docking access, and you can't find it out in space because that's a little bit clumsy. Well, have no fear, because you can warp to things from your D-scan. That's right, let me show you, just like this. So here we see our D-scan. Pretend that we don't have the attributes on our overview. You can go ahead and right-click it and choose warp, align, or all that other fancy stuff. Even better yet, you can also use the D-scan to go to specific ships if you want to. Perhaps there's a specific name that you don't like. You can go ahead and right-click and do all of your regular stuff with those ships as well. Little bonus tip for you. Number 5. This next trick will save you possibly billions of ISK. Because of how the EVE servers work, and especially because some players have a much better ping to the server than others, which means they get information first, it can be very important that you take the initiative and make the game know that you have the right information by being the one to actively choose actions instead of letting the server tell you that something has happened. For our example here, if you're going to have your ship explode and be put into your pod imminently, it can be literally pod saving, which can sometimes be easily worth billions, for you to pre-eject out of the ship before it blows up and then quickly warp away after that. By doing this, you will be able to tell the server what is going on more directly, whereas your opponent will have to wait for the server to know what has happened and then relay it back to them before they can make any actions against your pod. And by that time, you should be long gone and safe. At least for your pod implants. Your ship is going to still blow up, but, you know, minimize losses, right? Fight for another day. So I can't really show you a good example of this. You're just going to have to trust me. A lot of data and tests have been done to determine this ping interface and how the server works. Just trust me on this one. If you want to save your pod, go ahead and pre-eject. Number 6. Here's another short and sweet one for you, but if you don't know it, then it can really enhance your hacking gameplay, not only in speed, but enjoyment as well. So, did you know that by default, and strangely unchangeable, your use tools hotkeys are 1, 2, and 3. So these will stay. Also, if you happen to have hotkeyed 1, 2, and 3 something else, like I have my top slot modules, it will also activate those modules, so do be careful with what you put where. But here's a little example of that in action, and you know, it'll really just make you go a lot faster with hacking and have a fun time while doing it. So there you go.